Hey everybody, Jeff here. Just an update on my garage wiring project. It's taken me a long time to do this. I put in a brand new 100 amp square D panel. Of course there's only 30 amps feeding it, but you can't really get anything less than 100 amps with the, let's say, have a few circuits, but we've got that hooked up, and I've got a 30 amp 10 gauge underground feeder wire with 3 conductors plus the ground. There's 30 amps at 220 coming into here, coming out, and we've coming out here, and we've put a conduit in, going down about 18 inches in the conduit underground and into the house. And I've run another conduit, and I've got category 5 wire in there, so I can put a phone jack in here and a feed for a garage door opener button. I'm not going to do anything computer wise in there, but it'll carry both of those. So I got that in a separate conduit, and it's all buried about 18 inches down, more or less. And I need to do something about getting that hooked together to the house better. I couldn't get it up all the way to the foundation because somebody put a foundation down there. It sticks out, so that's the best I could do there. I might at some point get a couple blocks of wood and mount them to the foundation so I can clamp those down. So I need to put a couple clamps on those too yet. But that's going into the house. And again, a little tour here. It feels good in here. Central air. Get the light turned on. Okay, we're running under the house. I don't know how good you're gonna see because it's dark. Coming out through here. I still need a staple up under the house. I still need to get under there and staple them, but it's up off the ground. It's over the top of the studs. So, and I got it running through, all the way through. It's the same wire, and into the main panel. And I got a 30 amp double pole breaker here. So at some point, if I want to put a 220 outlet out there, I can. So, but I'm not going to do that right now. So coming out, then coming out here, I got 4 circuits. I got one for the outlets on this wall and the ones on the ceiling. I got one outlet up there for the garage door opener and another one up there on that other rafter back there next to that light for a drop cord or whatever when I'm working on a car. And I'm putting in a separate circuit coming up over the door and into the outlets on this wall and the back wall. Those will be on another circuit. I still got to wire the outlets in there. That other one, that last outlet's already wired up, but it's still going to be on that circuit because originally I had a line coming from that into the feed going to the shed. But I've changed that, and I've got a separate circuit running into here for the shed out back. And I don't remember if I mentioned this on my last video or not about the wiring about a month ago or so, but I've run another underground conduit going to the shed, and this is just 12-2 wire in conduit about 18 inches down, more or less. And my grass is already coming up over the top of it, coming up into there and in the shed. Now this was already wired in here. I went through and checked everything, but this is the original wiring. I put a GFCI in there, Everything is GFCI protected. And that new circuit I'm working on is going to be GFCI protected. So everything's 20 amps. Even though these aren't 20 amp outlets, you don't really need to put 20 amp outlets in. So besides, that's all I had was a 15 amps TFI. So at the time, there is a light in here, which is on. I got a fluorescent fixture I'm going to put up there at some point. Also, there's a switch for an outside light, which there's not one up there right now. This wire is just capped off, but plan on putting one up there with a motion sensor on it at some point, someday. So, we had to break all the asphalt and concrete off, and this was already cracked right here, so it come out pretty easy. I need to redo this and put some cement in there. I've run 2 ground rods, both sunk 8 foot down. Yeah, they're about 6 feet apart. There's another one over in here. That was a job in itself. I did that last Saturday with the blisters on my thumb to prove it. So that's what I'm trying to keep everything as close to code as I can. I'm not going to be exact code all over, but there's some things about the code which I don't want to do. But still got to do the lights. Right now, I've got them. I've got the wire hooked into the breaker panel, but I still got it tied into this old wiring. So this is just temporary until I can get some lights for in here. I'm looking for a deal on some fluorescent fixtures. Haven't found any yet. So I've been looking for on Craigslist, maybe some used ones on Craigslist, and just haven't been able to come up with any yet. So that's that for that. And but we've got another issue going on with this garage. Every time we get a rain, especially when we get a heavy downpour like we had the other day, water is just gushing in under the corner or under the door right in this area, and also a little bit over there and under this corner. I was standing in here working with my power drill plugged into an extension cord, and about an inch of water just started gushing in here. So I got to figure out what's going on with that. It's probably why this floor is all cracked up in here. And I didn't notice it till about a month after I bought the house, till we had a good heavy rain. But I think what's happening here, from what I could tell, it's either coming right down the driveway, but I think what's happening is the water is just pouring out down that downspout on the corner of the house and running right into here. So I'm going to do something different with this. I'm going to try to angle that out that way and maybe get about a 10-foot long piece of flex and aim it out towards that way and see what that does. And the downspout on the garage isn't quite right either, but I don't think that's the main cause. It's leaking a little bit, but I don't think that's the main cause of the problem. But it's kind of sagging right here. I need to lift that up. So, but I think the main thing is running down in here. And we still need to get some cement, fill that in, and I might get some fill dirt and put some more dirt over the top of this area here, which I got access to plenty of that. So I don't know if I'll get all that done this year or not, but and I'm also going to put that light on a separate switch and eventually put a different light in there, because that's an old light. Because they were on the same switch. All these lights were switched together before, and it was on a 3-way switch with the other switch in the house. I didn't keep it that way. I would have had to run another wire up into there. We took out all the old wires coming overhead, and the wires coming out of the house were in bad shape. That's what's the main thing why I wanted to get this project done right away. And we just put a new floodlight up there where the old lights came out. So That's working good. And replace a switch in the house, except for I got an extra wire in there. Video cut off on me. What I was saying was I got an extra wire in that switch box in the house running up to that box in the house. It's not being used for anything, so probably when I go to replace all that wiring in there, I'll probably rip that out. But I'm going to rewire the front part of the house, living room and front bedrooms first, because that wire's even, it's the same kind of stuff I just ripped out of the garage. So, and at some point we might redo the rest of the house. But that wiring, that's Romex from the 50s, probably maybe early 60s, and it has a ground wire in it. And we're getting some new neighbors next door. So, okay, that'll be the end of this video, and y'all have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.